We have a tree. A crappy little plastic tree that I keep mistaking for an older tree that we bought in 1987. My mama ordered it. My old friend, I'd like to live stream now again. If you could allocate some bandwidth, please. Or do I have to get on my fucking knees? And my upload is repeating one more hop. When will it stop? Okay, I'm back. Hi. I think I'm back. I don't know. Am I back? I can't fucking tell. But anyways, so y'all might remember your mama's J.C. Penney catalog. They had J.C. Penney catalogs for a while. Then came the Spiegel catalog. Spiegel's like, we don't need a fucking store. We're just gonna have a catalog. And well, people my generation remember it because right when Spiegel catalogs came out, was about the time we were all hitting puberty. And the Spiegel catalog had it was like a little mini Frederick Hollywood. Anyways. Oh, I used to, every Christmas I would go through and get the new Spiegel catalog, like circle stuff or checks by it. Thinking maybe my mom would happen to see when she was cruising through for all the crap she used to rack up my dad with debt with. Every day I'm buffering. I have never been an IT guy. Okay. Apparently, Google doesn't like Spiegel catalogs. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out with the Christmas tree thing, because I just want to explain. And I think, I could try to explain exactly how tedious this was using hand gestures and pantomimery. But instead, I drew a picture just to explain to my kids how lucky they are, how easy this little bullshit Christmas tree is to set up. My old tree from back in the 80s, it had a pole. And on that pole, there were many little notches. And then in the box, there would be approximately 1.5 trillion of these things. And you had to take each one and spread all the little fucking leaves out, because you gotta put them all back together to fit them all back in the box. Every single one of these fucking things had to be spread out, and each one of these was the little leaf, right? Each one of these was the little fucking Christmas tree leaf. So they were little wires, and they had to be pulled away from that fucker. And then you had to set every single one, ka-chink, ka-chink, with its little metal hook, the little, kind of like a shelving hook. And I could never decide whether it was more of a pain in the ass to put it up or take it down. Now these fuckers here, they're like umbrellas. You just fucking, everything just falls down. You're like, yeah, and you're done. And then there's needles all over the floor because it's cheap bullshit. Oh my God, there's a lot of needles on the floor. The Laney, our little half minx, managed to pull the entire fucking tree down today. Which we've been procrastinating putting ornaments on there. And I think we might just fucking not put ornaments. Yeah, I'd rigged up the lights on that tree so good one year that it's just like, fuck it, we're not taking them down. So now we just plug it back in. If everything works, eventually we put ornaments on there. Usually there's like a process of, you know, throwing shit at the cats and smacking them and stuff. But Laney won't quit. He's fascinated. He wants to live in the tree. But anyways, we had this tree here from 1987 to September 29th, 2005. Was that the day? I think that's the day. Hurricane Katrina. Man. The worst thing about surviving a big fucking flood like that is, especially like for me, I don't know what I had on me. I had just a year later lost the remainder of my really precious valuables when my car slammed into the trees, and just shit fucking flew everywhere out of that hatchback, man. But for like people like my mom, in such a panicked hurry to load up what you could to take with you, you wind up walking around your house looking for things that you don't have anymore because you thought it was something important enough. Did I grab that? You know? You know, an old photo, something somebody made for you and gave to you. You know, like the last thing you had to remember somebody by. And it's just, you know, it forces you to have everything up here, you know? Like I'm forgetting about entire people that I once called my friends because I don't have my little middle school photo albums and shit. I can't go back and just be like, hey, I remember them every couple years. I got the one photo album that, I mean, I had to pick up off the fucking side of the highway. It's my 1999 Grace King. Just a random year. That was the year I was supposed to graduate, I think. Anyways. But you know, there's a worse feeling. Let me try to make this into a segue. There's a worse feeling than wandering around your own house looking for shit that doesn't exist anymore. It never broke. You know, you never misplaced it. It just fucking ain't there anymore. That whole life that's connected to you just disappears. You can't even go back and see that house you used to live in because it ain't fucking there anymore, you know? But what's worse than that is that feeling of isolation when you move away from all your friends, all your family, and you don't even have the option to move back to go be with them anymore. You can't move back and go see your old friends because guess what? They fucking moved too. They're in Texas and Kentucky and Florida and California. Man, I've got friends who are very successful now on the far sides of the country. And here I am stuck in the middle with Dingo, hunt Dingo. He's a good boy. Creoles to the left of me, trumpets to the right. Wait a minute, that made too much sense. That's a good song right there. That's like every Sheryl Crow song is just an impersonation of that song, really. Anyways, that feeling of loss of pattern from when you're out just in some random fucking place and you can't, I mean, at that point AOL was no more. Imagine that. AOL had just disappeared right in time for New Orleans people not to have a New Orleans chat room. We had a couple Facebook groups, but hoy, it's frankly hard to get notifications from them. Not a lot, surprisingly, few people keeping up with each other in the New Orleans Facebook groups after Katrina. But that feeling of like just something missing. For anybody who was on AOL back in the 90s, especially. Because, I mean, New Orleans became a town where you could just go and fucking ASL and meet new people on a given weekend. New Orleans was a fucking online hookup hotspot. Because New Orleans was such a hookup hotspot to begin with. And I don't mean like to go out and fuck people. Okay, New Orleans people ain't nasty. I'm not saying, but we like to go on dates and go out with people and then fucking have fun. All right. There are, you know, less per drunk person incidents in New Orleans, well, at least back in my day, because it was such a normal thing. That's how our society was. We had standards regarding drinking etiquette. And you better watch the way you talk to a woman in public, man, because somebody will come pop the shit out of you. I hate it when somebody gets to it before me, but you know. But it used to be, you know, you could meet people with common interests, whether it be, you know, and it usually wasn't politics, okay? Fucking find people who were into Star Trek or Wicca or role-playing or whatever, you know? Metallica lovers, oh. I have to like every year, even though I don't have a drum set, I just have to stomp it up. I can remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or dream. Did y'all hear it? Did y'all hear it? Did you hear it? Yeah, man, I could totally hear it, man. That was awesome, man. This is what happens when I have enough sleep. Like, energy. Fuck to do with it. Ah. Look around, just shit piled on shit. Nobody cares where they put anything. The gumbo. Check the rice. Thanks for the reminder. Anyways. So that feeling after Katrina. This is gonna segue somehow, some way. That isolation. You're like trying to find other people who've been through the same thing, and you would think that Google, becoming the dominant monopolist fucking search engine that it is, would say this is one of the biggest disasters in American history. Thousands lost their lives, tens of thousands lost their homes, if not, you know, there were immediately hundreds of thousands displaced from Hurricane Katrina, if you're not aware. I mean, about 500,000 people total displaced. The population of Baton Rouge alone grew by about 300,000. This whole area right here. Like Zachary went from 25 to 50,000 just within a couple years. Everybody was like, oh, where's the best school system, you know? Anybody who could buy a house bought a house here. And being in central Louisiana, you know, a lot of people in New Orleans, they got family all over different parts of Louisiana. So being in central Louisiana, it's easy to drive everywhere, you know. But you would think that Google, like so many little independent things, right, would try to start little communities of Katrina survivors. You think Google might have modified their search algorithm to make it easier for us to find each other somehow. But instead, typing in Hurricane Katrina was a good way to get a lot of different con artists popping up. And if you're trying to search for this and that, a lot of different just fake help schemes taking advantage of people after Katrina all over the internet. Plenty of businesses, plenty of people wanted to help. Plenty of people needed help. But Google wasn't helping us find help. And they weren't making sure that the victims of America's greatest natural disaster in fucking history of all times, you know, making sure those people didn't get targeted. Couldn't help them get together. Couldn't get a group of fucking people together, task them. Just what can we do to stop this? What can we do to, like they didn't fucking notice, you know? Please. fast forward to 2016. You're all familiar with what I've been saying Google has been doing. But let's see if we can catch them red-handed doing something else conducive to that series of evidence. Let's see if we can get exhibit, what, Q? I mean, come on. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. It's right there. Who knows basic gerund booleans? Like the number of letters usually used for searches. How many letters does a search engine scan into a word to register it as that word? It's usually 5 or 8. Okay. Used to be 5. And theoretically it could be more than that. Okay. It used to be 5. It used to be the first 5 letters. Okay. And you could make sense why people would want to upgrade it to 8. And you can make sense in programming how that would, factor out easily mathematically as far as being processed. Okay. Yeah, I think they listen to our conversations and compare it with what we search, and yeah, I test it on a regular basis. I will character act just to test and see how fucked up Google really is. And let me tell you, they're as fucked up as you can think they'd be. They are a quasi-Orwellian state layered on top of our own government and our own infrastructure for the sake of a foreign power, or, excuse me, for a foreign adversary. Now, just like they failed to get people together after Katrina, there was an even more exemplary, because of its existing facilitation, example of Google seeming to intentionally drop the ball and making people who were in a desperate situation, known to have an increased suicide rate and overdose rate, known to be complaining about shadow banning and seeming isolation from their own friends because Facebook doesn't like what they're talking about. And this all happened after Facebook announced that they were using Google's algorithm. Facebook doesn't like you talking about sad stuff to your own fucking friends, basically. It doesn't want to bring your friends down. And now I don't have a friend named Christy Conrad. I had no idea she was even depressed. She was a fucking physician. She was a PhD. And she was the most warm, compassionate, kind person you've ever fucking known. If you saw Christy Conrad, you were getting a hug. Okay? And it would be the best hug of the day. She's a big girl. But she just, come here. Apparently she had lost a lot of weight. I didn't hear about that either. Dear friend of mine, known her fucking 20 years. Didn't know anything was wrong. I just heard she was fucking dead, killed herself. And there's one thing that people could do right now. There's one thing, say, a YouTuber like me could do. To make a plea to the outside world. Say, look, I have some information. I've noticed something. I have some proof of something. I have observed some fuckery. There's one place that should be integrated into the algorithm as search results, certainly by now. Should be coming up on auto type, no problem. Especially for someone who's already typed it before. Right? Right. Well, y'all saw the cover image. Anybody know what I was trying to type? Anybody know what should have popped up by then? Mm-hmm. Send it to Rachel. Fucking fingernails are dirty. Rachel Maddow, whom we have already proven through side uploading and side streaming, Russian troll accounts have been enabled to steal 90% of the million views per day Rachel Maddow gets on YouTube. Okay? 90%. We found enough videos with hundreds of thousands of views each, most of them equal to the amount that Rachel Maddow had. And who knows their number? I think 90% is conservative. That's if she's only getting the million views. It's easy to see that she was actually getting 1 million views every day. At least 1 million views every day. And getting credit for 100 or 200,000. Her videos more than likely accumulate, her content, Rachel Maddow's broadcast content, likely accumulates on YouTube 5 million views by the end of the week if it's an interesting story. Registering only is, what we saw, 400,000 to 600,000 views on her channel. But you can extrapolate all the different videos that we see on other channels, some of them getting 1 million or close to 1 million views. 5, 10 different copies on 10 different channels. Every one of those views is a view that MSNBC didn't get paid for. Is a view that MSNBC didn't have a chance to run ads with. And when it comes to, I assume there has to be an IT guy or two with military experience or who's into politics. I used to know plenty of them. And you're telling me that there's not a fucking bunch of IT guys just like me posting videos, well, not just like me, of course, but posting videos with the same analysis that I am, pointing out this foreign money laundering campaign that Google AdSense seems to be engaged in. They're literally targeting American companies across the board and stealing money from them and giving it to Russians and controlled shills. Because they don't want anything on YouTube that's promoted contradicting the far right and far left pocket groups that they have to put people in according to the mandate of Russian active measures. They are participating in Russian active measures in that regard. All the while allowing American companies exclusively, American broadcasts exclusively, to be hijacked by monetized Cyrillic accounts. But if they were honest, if this was just a mistake that I'm making, surely they wouldn't have, in their algorithm, blocked, especially for a user like me who's typed it before, who this is just the kind of thing that I'd want to do. Surely they haven't blocked the hashtag send it to Rachel, because that might imply that they did all these other things on purpose, wouldn't it? In fact, that's exactly what it would imply. Because send it to Rachel is, as you know, our only form of recourse as an online community these days. Send it to. Now, not only should send it to Rachel have come up probably by there, okay, certainly there, but send it to, the next thing should be Rachel, okay? Now, if you're even debating in your head whether send it to my phone is a thing that you haven't heard of that's trending, 121 views, 20 views, 14 views. This is probably just a fucking Agent Shillery cover thing. Look how recent these were. Then we have Send It lyrics. That's completely unrelated. The Send It to my phones are all in the past 3 months. That's interesting. Send it to should be just Rachel. Trolls have been issued tasks to pad search results. That's just my opinion. You might have to be an expert in the actual information technology field to understand how easy and likely that is. But you don't have to be anybody special to understand that when I hit R, okay, everybody comment right now. When I hit R, what do you think is going to happen? Right? Those are some attractive people. Those are shit. She's like a 9, 8. Male model looking type, male model looking type, male model looking type, male model looking type. Like, damn, that's some attractive fucking people showing up. There's the ugly guy, okay? There's the ugly guy. And he that's probably just a bad shot. Oh, there he is again, see? This dude's a baller. Look at him, he's picking up all kinds of chicks. That's weird. So what do y'all think was going to happen when I hit R? Think Send It to Rachel will pop up? What the fuck? What is that? Nothing. Gone. Backspace. That comes back up. Backspace again. Send it to one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So nine characters get scanned. But 10 is too much. Huh. Now, after we type this out, yep. Still nothing. And then search. How fucking rigged is that? I'm in a fucking corner. So I am the only person, and apparently the fucking 50 or so different Send It to Rachel videos, no, they're not showing up. I've got one 14-second video showing up. Can't stream at all. They've disabled my account. So, gonna hang out? Get on Hangouts. That's all. Ain't that a bitch? All right, let's try another spelling. Because even though that's the way Rachel spells her name, Rachel is the more common spelling. Anything? What the fuck? So this guy with his one view from a year ago comes up before me, for starters. Then you got me. Then you got the one we just watched. Then you got... I mean, look how fucking rigged this is, you know? It's in the same exact order. And... you know, I didn't spell it like that. This looks like a video I've never seen before.
I said at the very end of last night's show that we've got a little bit of a scoop to share with you tonight. This is that.
Oh, I remember that one. I saw that one. Why isn't that showing up that I saw it? I saw that one. So let's see how far it goes. Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay, so we have... RT. MSNBC, then RT. What the fuck? And there's Mark Saeed. Mark Saeed, Mark Saeed. Mark Said, Mark Said. That guy again. Mark Said, Mark Said, Mark Said. That's all that's showing up. So, with all the Trump Russia investigation, with all the different people, who have probably posted videos about civil rights violations, about Russian internet trolls, about their phones malfunctioning. That's it. And they've been talking all kinds of shit while planning for the Trump Putin takeover. They've been talking all kinds of shit about their secret messiah. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm back. But you ain't talking about me. You don't know me. I know you don't know me because I don't know you. As far as I'm concerned, what I do not recognize is not permanent. But anyways. So yes, they steal massive amounts of revenue, and they herd people into corners, silence them, and limit their perspective. All while stealing millions of dollars from advertisers. But they're also guilty of securities fraud in addition to running a Ponzi scheme and defrauding the United States, and conspiracy to defraud the United States, and embezzlement, and supplying basically aid and material and resources to criminal activities. And they are effectively guilty of violating the Espionage Act. But the big thing that can be easily proven they're committing securities fraud. Oh, yeah. By their complicitness with these troll accounts, Facebook and Google have turned a blind eye not only to theft, but when asked how many viewers they have, when asked how many people online, when asked how many people interested in a certain subject, this allows them to intentionally pad their projections. Their stock prices are thus extremely overinflated because they have falsified their market influence. troll accounts and bots don't buy shit. But they're counting them in numbers as if they do when it comes to selling ads. When it comes to pricing their stocks, you see? That's securities fraud. Busted. Now, the reason I make these videos, y'all, I'm not flapping my fucking gums in the wind, okay? My emails might not be getting through. So it's up to y'all to get other people based on the issues. I don't want, you know, people to be worried about me. People got, you know, you might think that you're going to get a lot of eye rolls if you talk about me. That's fine. I don't get eye rolls when I introduce myself. But the issues and the truth speaks for itself. So you need to talk to your friends and get them to email their local Congress people. Local. Start local. Okay? Call your local Congress people, your local senators. Tell every fucking intern you talk to. There is simple proof that exists that Facebook is guilty of millions of dollars in defraudment of the United States, in defraudment of American advertising companies, and in defraudment of their stock prices. There are literally American companies that have shut down because of this. There are startups that never got a chance because of this. This has to fucking stop. Facebook fraud accounts, fake accounts, troll accounts, pad financial projections, causing them to overvalue their own stocks, thus ripping off investors into a fucking Ponzi type scheme, while stealing millions of dollars every single day from advertisers. You see, if Rachel Maddow gets 1 million views on one video in a day, MSNBC, 10 million views per day from all their different videos, especially if they realized how lucrative it was, imagine the additional content they'd be providing if they weren't getting ripped off. They'd be making even more money than we can see that they're losing now. You understand that? Because that's market reaction. That's good management. That's how they would have responded if they were getting the proper result. You know, like if people could fucking search for hashtag send it to Rachel and actually get something. If I just search for Rachel Maddow, I'd get different results than what you get. Because I've been trying to prove the fuckery. I'd get even more MSNBC branded videos than probably you would. Because I used to get less, and now I get more. Because, you know, they've covered their asses. But you still get just random little combinations of the words news and US and now and 24 and like just excitement, current news, and real, and like fucking just all these little bullshit names for all these different little fucking theft upload channels. So, if Rachel Maddow makes $1,000 off of 1,000,000 views, that's $10,000 a day. Basically, that MSNBC is only getting a fraction of. That's just one channel. You know how many movies, television shows, all kinds of different fucking content? Not only is it, you know, the spamming of illegitimate sources, but it's the suppression of the legitimate ones. They really steal a high percentage of what should be revenue for American companies. If the theft wasn't so prolific, and let's say a competent manager was in charge of the MSNBC YouTube channel, because of its revenue potential, they would have a AdWords campaign and effectively probably get about 40 million views per day. You know, I make like $1 per 100 views, you know? Am I doing the math right here? Let me write this down so I can move my zeros. That's $400,000 if it's 40 million views. So 1,000,000 to be $10,000. Yeah, that sounds better. Sounds about right. It's more probably like 8,000 something, but you get the idea. So because of the indirect reaction to their suppression and to the theft, they don't use an AdSense campaign to make sure that they're promoted. That's why you get these. I mean, that's how that happens. When you see these side uploaders, these Russians are enabled to not just upload a video on YouTube and get it monetized. They're using preferential AdSense search results, basically. They're paying back into the system and getting paid for it. If those channels weren't allowed to steal this revenue, MSNBC would take it seriously. They would have an ad manager. They would have AdSense. They would have ad placement. They would have preferential search results that you pay for. You know, like Send It to Rachel, for instance. They can put a monetary value on that phrase and get charged every time somebody uses it. They're probably hiring actors, $100 a time for little videos to spam them, to make them think that it's working. mistake competence for creativity. Russia relies on creativity to cover its lack of competence. So they'll do a bunch of different bullshit, and like basically any one of them is not done flawlessly, but because there's so many of them, it's like, well, that's not, and like you're just overwhelmed with shit to point out, basically. Oh man, how many I got left? 3. Bye. Anyways, so let me get the fish tank on before I run out of battery. So. So you could easily see about $500,000 in revenue being stolen by site uploading per day. Just when it comes to, you know, like if you're injured and somebody keeps you from making money, it's the same thing. It's not a matter of what you made at your present rate of pay in your present position. It's a matter of, you know, were you getting positive reviews from your employee? Were you likely to advance? What was the maximum potential that you had at the maximum job you could have been expected to take at that place? What's the best pay rate you could have been expected to have? Were you not injured? Okay? Take that principle and apply it here. What is the pay rate that they could have expected to accumulate should they have been encouraged by not having all their fucking videos stolen? I think at least $500,000 just among major network broadcasts. Just Fox, CNN, and MSNBC. Just that. You're looking at $500,000 a day. Should be going to America, instead it's going to Russia. Period. And that's why Russia can AdWord fucking accounts that have no viewers. Or should they get any viewers, the AdWords aren't helping them. You know. Because when it all comes down to it, what that guy's about to say is predictable. His titles, his look, everything about him. You don't expect to hear anything original there. But you know, my links get shared, my broadcasts used to get posted on Facebook and Twitter and shared multiple times, and it never increased the result. Facebook and Twitter both colluded with this algorithmic response to suppress people like me. I can meet people on the streets every day who want my channel name, okay? Random people in the fucking line at stores, the cashiers often enough. And they want to come check it out. But that's not how links are supposed to be shared on pieces of paper, you know? Never recommended, never scrolled, and hardly searchable. the real resistance. Anyways. So, IC3.gov, IC3.gov is where you want to report this, on top of trying to call your local congressional office. I realize that I've got the very few international viewers that have just somehow found me through different links here and there. But for my American friends from around here, if anybody winds up watching, that's what you need to do. Because, money stolen on this scale accounts for a lot more lives lost than just the lives lost from the effects of the suppression. Those are, that's $500,000 a day that American workers could have been paid. That's $500,000 that wasn't paid to people who don't have jobs. That's $500,000 that belongs in our economy, that we earned, the American people. Our news, our politics, our events, our people. The people that make those broadcasts live in American buildings, drive American registered cars, use American roads, get maintained by American people. They eat food brought to them by Americans. They use cleaning products brought to them by Americans. Every aspect of those reporters' lives is provided by Americans. We all collectively pull together to accomplish everything. There is no nobility here. There is no ownership class here. Anybody fucking acts like that, we need to make an issue of it. And any rich motherfucker needs to realize that they are only rich because they got lucky. People who have wealth confusing themselves with some sort of deserving nobility. Like Trump, like Putin. They take because they can. They don't understand that that wealth doesn't belong to them. Microsoft. Bill Gates understands that Microsoft doesn't belong to him, even though it belongs to him. You understand? It belongs to every programmer, every hardware engineer, every janitor, every parking attendant. Not just them, but the people at Walmart who stock the shelves that those people shop at, the people at the factories who make those products. It's a collective effort, whether you see it or not. These products don't get made unless these products get made by these people that do these things, and these things get serviced here. It's a chain of events. It's a chain of events that connects us all. And they act like they can sit at the top of the ladder and assume lordship because their name is on a fucking piece of paper somewhere. Fuck you. Ownership should be maintained by those who deserve ownership. And people who own companies like Facebook, who are not aligned with the interest of the common good, who are essentially treasonous to the policies of this country, they should be broken up. They've become too big by coercive means because they forgot the people that made them what they are. So they need to be given back to the people. And you know, when it comes to some shit like Facebook, you ought to get a board of the guys who actually did the fucking hard work and let them decide who should own what part of it. Yep. I mean, when you think about what the complaint used to be about Microsoft, my God, we used to complain that Windows came preloaded on desktop computers. Just think of that. Just think of that. We used to complain that Windows came preloaded with apps that could do basic shit. You could buy, if you wanted Linux, you know, if you were someone who had any business using Linux, you could buy a motherboard and a case and put your own damn computer together. There were plenty of places in the mid-90s that you could order a computer from with no operating system, and you could put fucking Linux on it if you wanted. These people were talking about how I can't go to the store, the retail fuck store, the mainstream marketing store, and get anything but a Windows-based PC. But all the while they're targeting Microsoft platforms, which is simply an operating system made to accommodate the PC platform, which is something that many different people can build. You can go and build one yourself. Microsoft was just the most successful operating system for that platform. However, there was this company called Apple at the time, and only Apple could make Apple stuff for Apple stuff. Nobody cared. You want an Apple computer? You have to have it built by Apple. You can't buy a motherboard. You can't buy Apple hardware and put Microsoft on it. You can't buy Apple hardware and put Linux on it. Can't do anything but Apple with Apple for Apple by Apple. Okay? Antitrust language is as follows: controlling the entire means of production. So, as in they make all the hardware and the operating system? It'd be like a car company basically telling you you can only buy tires from us, you can only buy your oils from us, you can only buy your windshield wipers from us. It's fucking illegal. It's called a trust violation. You're not allowed to control all the different means of production. If you're just trying to build a just something that you invented, if there are people who make parts to that, and you go and make all the parts yourself, just to be greedy, if you have all the different machinery to make all the different parts, instead of buying shit that's available from other businesses, you're gonna get looked into for antitrust violation. What about that did Microsoft do? They made a fucking software for an existing hardware platform. Before that, there was there was CompuServe, there was Lotus Magellan, there was Diamond Windows. There were other operating systems. Windows was just the best. They didn't do anything monopolistic. Where is the PC that says Microsoft on the case? Made by Microsoft with a Microsoft motherboard. There is no Microsoft motherboard. They never made motherboards. They never made cases. They made mice and speakers and shit like that. Those are accessories. Nothing to do with controlling the means of the operation. I'm going to destroy Google one way or the other. Even if it takes a fucking meteor shower. But what I want to happen is a learning experience. Because if Google falls into the sea and, you know, nobody really understands what the fuck they did, it's just a cycle that's going to repeat itself. But you see, I have a series of inventions that can revitalize the entirety of the American technology infrastructure which Google has forsaken. In addition to a long series of evidence that's going to bring them down a few pegs. And let me just say this. I'm aware of Microsoft's newest and greatest and coolest stuff. Nope. 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 Got nothing on me, son. I'm not gonna even demonstrate how much easier, quicker, and massively more securely my entire revolutionary electronic approach is going to make the login process. I don't even want to demonstrate it. I don't want to give anybody any ideas. It's just too damn good. Nope. Nope. Thought of a cute riddle for a clue. Nope. I'm not gonna do that. It's my process. It's my. But I just can't wait to have a fucking flipped keyboard again. That's the whole thing. I invented this entire revolutionary technology just so I could have a keyboard phone again. And I got the most adorable little naming convention. Oh, they're gonna sell like hotcakes. They're gonna sell like hotcakes. Like adorable without being annoying. Mystical without being creepy. Deja vu-ish without sounding like it's trying too hard. And the name goes all the way through the entire series of devices in a cute little way. It's cool. Makes it easier to remember everything. And of course, it's going to help in algorithmic search results. In fact, I even have setups for future non-competitive lawsuits planned into my business plan. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's set them up. I dare you. Thank you for your evidence. Thank you for your cooperation. Excuse me. But yeah, I told my dad, I think I'm going to put Google out of business. He laughed. And I said, just imagine what the plan would have to be, because my dad's an extremely smart man. IQ estimated to be well over one of those savant type geniuses. Talks to computers better than he talks to people. I told him, calculate everything that would need to be done. In order to accomplish that goal. That is the plan that I have already. And I've spent the past 7 years formulating it. And frankly, it's been going off without a hitch. Now, the key is going to be diversity. The key is going to be unstoppability. It's going to be basically finding a group of people who are capable of performing in a way that is in every other way. To make coerciveness unsettle its way out of power and fail to balance itself with pure ingenuity, creativity, and marketing genius. That's what Google lacks. For all their coercion, for all their shady expansiveness, never at any point did they become genius marketers. I'm not going to tell you how well I can write a commercial, but I'll just remind you I sold 12 Hondas in my first month. I wasn't even getting started. And I am the Get a Real Computer Man. Used to get fucking top 10 search results with a website typed in HTML 4.0 all the way up until about 2005. Maybe 07 really. I was still getting good search results right after Katrina. Made a lot of money right after Katrina. An arrogant man's computer at a humble man's price. And now we have the last phone you'll ever buy. It's every phone you want it to be. It's every electronic thing you want it to be. I'm a pretty severe electronic geek, and I've come up with a wide range of accessories. And they're just so fucking... It's just so smooth how it all fits together. It's just so smooth. I've got everything from warehousing to retail to music to video gaming, automotive, photography, just a wide range of accessories. And too many perfect little patentable details necessary to make it all work together. Just a fucking amazing system. And the commercials are just, oh, people aren't even going to believe it's out. In fact, I can give away that one commercial. It's going to be so damn good. It's going to be like, surprise, it's actually real. Like, oh, I'm sorry, did you think this was in the future? It's waiting for you at a store right now. So we're going to revolutionize the housing industry. We're going to revolutionize the technology industry. And we're going to have a lot of other little patents that everybody's going to know about. Like on the realm of Kleenex or Pop-A-Lock or Fix-A-Flat, you know? These are products that are so damn good, there will be generics that will be referred to by their name brands. And they are completely random industries that you probably wouldn't even expect me to be interested in. Maybe. I am kind of interested in everything, aren't I? And another objective, I just might say, and this is why Russia, I'm sure, is just so butthurt about the idea of me being successful. They want to do everything they can to fuck with me. one of the master plans that I can't go into too much detail about, that connects all the different businesses, is that together they will all enhance our national security infrastructure. Like the same way it's intimidating to go out in the desert because people know how to make roadside bombs. It would be intimidating to attempt to invade this country because of the proliferation of easily manufactured, extremely effective things. Reconfigurable manufacturing facilities, even. But anyways, the Murphy's is back from the store, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a live stream and call it a broadcast or whatever the kids are calling it these days. So, thanks for watching, thanks for chatting, thanks for hanging out, and don't forget to click the like button, make sure you're subscribed, all that kind of shit. And tell random little producers on Twitter about Rachel, you know, the Rachel Maddow producers, like the different people that show up as like their friends, you know, like follow to like the less popular people and try to actually message them and tell them how much money is being stolen from them. $500,000 a day, man. That's crazy. But it's provable, okay? You can be like, I know it sounds crazy, but I can tell you how to prove this for yourself. Thanks a lot, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.